a calculator, like with Calc 2.
At a higher level, it gets to a point where calculators can't do the job, though.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, well, but you could still use it to help, you know?
Yeah,
It's like if you're sitting there looking at 27 times 64, you're like...
Like, sometimes the computer might even get it wrong, and it's like, you have to figure out where it went wrong.
Yeah, I looked...
just coding,
I
guys.
saw, like, I saw a bar about, like, the level of math you're using at each stage of life, right?
Yeah.
And it's like arithmetic, multiplication, basic stuff, like when you're elementary school, middle school, and then you're into geometry and then trig or whatnot. Mm-hmm. And then as soon as you're out of college, you just drop straight back to the arithmetic. That's the only thing you use for the rest of your life. There we go.
Hey guys, welcome to the Unix podcast.
We're gonna choose a better
episode
name.
12.
We're gonna choose a better name. We need to choose a better name.
I don't feel like you say that when you're doing the intro.
Anyway,
I feel like that's a
fine.
topic we get to later.
It's fine. It's fine.
All right, today I wanted to...
No, we're not gonna start with that. We can't start with that.
So guys, basically, my boss.
I wanted to talk about personal hygiene.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
I mean, it counts, right?
Yeah.
It counts.
I don't know, because when I was like in middle school and like middle school freshman area.
I don't think there's a freshman
I
in
think you
middle
just say
school.
7th
Yeah,
grade.
yeah. No one says middle school freshman.
Middle school to freshman. Like,
Oh, never
those,
mind. Never
like,
mind.
time
Okay,
period.
okay.
It's
I
like
see.
I didn't really care
You made
about
it
personal
confusing. It's not our fault.
personal
Ethan.
hygiene.
Yeah.
I didn't really care whatsoever because I was like, why would I want to do this for other people? You know what I mean?
I'm a dude. I clean my face with the same towel I wipe my ass with.
I'm like, why do I have to, why do I have to do this for other people? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to wash my face. I'm lazy as fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Joe? Yeah, I used to think like that, but now I enjoy the personal hygiene. I enjoy washing my face.
Now
the shaving,
I'm like, I have hella acne, bro. Like, my shit is oiled up. It is lubed up.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
bro,
my nose especially.
I get like little I don't know if they're blackheads, but there's like
if you
little
shine like
shitters.
a light on it, it's like a lighthouse. It's like a beacon.
Yeah, it's like that.
Rudolph?
Dude, I use it.
I mean, the size of the pimples I used to get, you would almost mistake me for Rudolph. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. And then I think it was only recently. It was mainly because of my brother. Like, he bought me a little thing of
Moisturizer, toner,
of cleanser.
cleanser.
It's I don't know I don't remember the brand name. Like, even it starts with a C.
Seraphine.
Something.
League of
No,
Legends
that's
character,
okay.
That starts with an S.
That's not-
Why are you talking about that game?
But yeah, it's supposed to be a really good brand, and it helps, like, it keeps your skin moisturized, even though it, like, cleans it. And then I've been using it. I know it's been feeling a lot better, even though I don't notice like a change in acne like too much, but
I think there's a
It's
chemical
still-
that's specifically used to help with acne. I forget. It's a kind of acid, I think, and it helps really good with acne.
oh yeah, they put it in like anti-acne like cream or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
But if you put too much, it'll like irritate your skin and
I mean,
cause
it
your
can
face
get
to go
pretty
red.
Strong. Yeah.
Because
So
I tried that already.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
I mean, it's not bad right now. It's not
like
too bad.
I put like that stuff all over my face, thinking like you're supposed to put it all over your face, right?
Yeah.
But then after like the next day or something,
It was like red.
it
and
was
burning.
straight red.
Aish. That does not sound
And like my pimples like would get so bad, like I would just like pop them. Like that was a thing I used to do,
yeah.
and then it would just
It would lead to like the scars.
Yeah.
It also like bleed everywhere.
I have like arm acne a lot. Of
Oh,
that.
I still do.
Yeah.
Like
I think it's
little.
an Asian thing. Or do you have it too?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I
It's
just
just
also
like
have
a-
like skin cancer and I'm gonna die in 4 years, but
Yeah,
you know how it is.
it's pretty. Like I don't. Do you guys put on like lotion like on your body, or is it just
not
like your face?
I use like during winter, definitely my face.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like sometimes, like I don't know, my hands get kind of cracked up, especially like in this area. I get like pretty bad calluses too.
Yeah.
So I do a little bit of moisturizing on like my hands, but mostly my face.
Yeah. I always do my hands and face because, as you apply it to your face, you can actually get it on your hands and you just like do it to get rid of the
Like if you have extra, yeah.
But if it's during the winter, if I get ashy, that's pretty close. Maybe my calves sometimes. But
Calves, really?
yeah.
Okay.
You get ashy calves.
Yes. Sorry.
Yeah, you better be.
I, don't know, I usually don't put like moisturize my under head skin. Like
Yeah.
I'm not really super dry.
Do you guys exfoliate? Like get like
Exfoliate.
like a towel or something that's kind of rough and like just like rub the dead skin cells
Yeah,
off?
what are those the loofah?
I don't know. But in Korea we have like like a glove almost. It's like a square thing. You put your hand through, you apply a bit of soap usually, or usually we just like wet it with water because if you use soap, it doesn't get rid of it as quickly because it's
Yeah.
like too, smooth, right?
Yeah.
And just rub it all over your chest, your legs, everywhere, and you feel like, oh, I'm clean afterwards. You should try it.
I've never.
Yeah, that's what the loofah is. It's like it's for exfoliation, and you basically just throw your soap in it, scrub it up, and then
I just use the hands. The hands, they work pretty well. You just. Where do you guys start? Where do you guys start when you
My arms. I usually start with
Arms?
my
Arms, yeah.
And then my chest.
arm, chest, work down, and then face is like a separate
And then
thing.
my back.
Yeah.
My back is really.
I actually don't
hard
even
to
wash my face in the shower.
Yeah,
I do
I heard it's better to wash your face after you shower.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I
It
do.
feels weird doing it in the shower because
It's like you. I feel like you might contaminate. Like your face is like
I don't
very.
even think that. It's just like I heard it, and then also it's so that you can control the temperature better because you're not supposed to do it with really hot water or really cold water. It needs to be like
lukewarm.
lukewarm.
But
Yeah.
I think more on the colder side because cold makes your pores close up is what I heard from my
Once
sister.
you want it to be. Once you want your pores to like open to like.
You want to
No.
open them to clean it.
Yeah, and
close
then-
them,
and then
sort
you-
of, I think is the meme.
But I think it's better to just have them closed in the first place so the stuff doesn't get in it.
But it's like if before you clean it, they're closed. It's like you're kind of
How are you gonna clean out when it's like
yeah
digging?
because you're closing it off and you're leaving stuff in there.
Yeah,
Just die.
just die.
Just die. Fair enough. Okay. Let me write that down. Just die. Got it.
I don't know. I know that some like a lot of girls they have like this entire lineup.
I don't.
I think
I
that's
think
too
it's-
extreme.
I
maybe.
think some people take it to an extreme, but it's like it's more. I don't know. At some point, it's not even about the it's like it's your skin routine.
Honestly, I
Yeah.
think less is better because if you get too much into products, your skin kind of gets dependent on those products, right? And then if you stop using them, you start using something else. To kind of
Well,
mess
but
it up.
guys, we're guys, right? Society doesn't have the expectation that we're walking around as like China dolls. It's like for lack of better terms, right? It's like we don't need to walk around looking like
I want to look nice. I don't really
What is your preferred look?
clean. I
Clean?
Look, yeah, like I don't like
Okay, what about outfit wise?
outfit wise. Kind of baggy.
Baggy.
Yeah,
yeah.
If it's
I
like-
think comfort over looks for a lot of stuff.
yeah. I mean, if I'm going to the gym, like obviously shorts for everything. But if I like suits too. If you're gonna go formal, I like the look of a suit. So and I used to prefer if we're going like for the whole look, longer hair. Like you guys know that I used to grow out my hair a lot, and it's like so.
I was gonna say none of us are really exemplifying that very well.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think I look better now that I've grown up with shorter hair, or at least
I like shorter hair now too.
Yeah.
It's like you have to do.
It's just easier to take.
Yeah,
care
it's
of.
you
easier.
lose hair if you grow it out. Like if I had longer
don't.
hair, for me personally, okay.
Well, you were
Personally.
saying like you as in like everybody
Everyone,
does.
yeah.
But
I think
this
I can
is more
speak
of
for
a-
every one of my fellow audience members out there when I say these are they're not normal. They're
I don't think so. I feel like most people that's just not true.
okay. Maybe just balding.
I mean, it would be easier for like your hair to catch on stuff because like my hair, when it was long, it would catch on my glasses.
Yeah, especially when you put them
Oh,
on.
yeah.
It would
that
even
happens
it would
all
even
the time
catch
to
it
me.
inside, and then like you would pull it off, and it would just yank your hair out with
You
it.
just yoink some strands out
Yeah.
for sure. I mean, also just like, when you have the longer hair, like it's almost a requirement that you start shampooing and conditioning it to like keep it in.
That's what
good
you're supposed to do.
health.
I
anyways.
do conditioning.
I very rarely condition. my
Really?
hair.
You're supposed
Yeah.
to, because the soap, the thing, it's supposed to like take the oils out, and then the conditioner is
Well,
supposed
but
to
like
put it back
some
in.
oil is like natural and good.
It takes like most of that.
I think there's
And then-
also the thing where it's like you're supposed to sort of like teach your hair to go not every day. with
Yeah,
shampoo
yeah,
and
I heard that too,
conditioner.
and that's the struggle for me because I'm trying to work out every day, and I mostly
Yeah.
shower for getting rid of sweat, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you do when you take a shower, you naturally want to wash your hair, right?
Yeah,
I
I feel
like,
that.
I sweat a lot.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's a hard one for me because if I don't shower, I feel sticky and gross.
Yeah.
After working
Especially
out.
after the gym.
Yeah, yeah.
One of my friends would go to the gym before class, and it would it would.
That's a bit. Yeah, I don't know if I could do
Yeah,
that.
so, yeah, especially like high
like-
school and middle school when you were done with PE and you go
Oh
to
my
another
God,
class.
yeah.
I was like, I was so gross. I was like, I feel so bad for whoever's sitting next
Especially
to
the
me.
teachers. The teachers have
I-
to deal with that.
Yeah.
It would be
Yeah.
an entire room.
I remember. I think it was one of our middle school teachers, or maybe it was elementary, and they would always make comments whenever we got back from PE because it's like the whole class goes, and they were starting to get us like it was less about playing and having fun, and it was more like you need to focus on your physical fitness.
Yeah.
And so they would make us do 30, 45-minute workouts, and so everyone would come back like stinky as all hell.
We were doing like marine, like
a little
yeah.
bit, yeah. And we would all go back to this classroom, and it's like 30-something kids walking into this room all stinky as hell. Imagine being that teacher. That just sounds miserable.
I've heard that most Koreans don't have body odor because
Yeah, it's
they've
like,
evolved like that. But
it's
I
like
think
an
I'm one of the
Asian-
exceptions.
I don't know. It's like an Asian thing where there's a certain gene that makes your sweat not smell
Yeah,
like
I
bad.
definitely don't have that. Not
Yeah.
even close.
Yeah, I don't either.
It might be. I mean, because hygiene, the way you smell could be different. Like your voice, how you hear your voice is different from other people. How they hear it could be different in that same way where people.
But I mean, like if you smell like shit, you smell like shit.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
There's no. Yeah, I guess there's no debating that. But speaking on that, so talking about do you guys use like deodorant?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that a necessity
Yeah, you're supposed
Yeah.
to every day.
every day?
Every day.
I maybe not a necessity, but it's like if you're going out in public,
Mm.
it's just the nice thing
Yeah.
to do,
It's for
Especially
like,
like when you're kind of like a bigger guy, like naturally
right.
your pits are just gonna be smellier.
Yeah.
it's for everyone else.
Yeah.
And then when you walk by someone that doesn't have deodorant on, you could tell. You could tell. Like at the gym today, I
think
was
the
like,
worst offenders are like cons.
Oh,
I've
like-
only been to one con, and it was an anime convention,
Oh.
and like it was bad.
Yeah.
It was like bad,
Yeah.
and it was like how it's like multiple days. Some people
Yeah.
will like camp out.
Oh, that's
you know,
disgusting.
and you're not showering. These guys obviously were not using deodorant. And it's just like wow.
it's especially important when you go like you're gonna be like sweaty. Like,
Yeah.
have you guys been to like the dances? Yeah, no, you've been.
yeah.
Like the high school dances.
I
they
don't
were-
like dances. Honestly, I've never gone. To a high
I
school
didn't like them
dance.
either, but I feel like I went to one homecoming and prom, and that's like I feel like that's very respectable. It's like you do those two. I went with friends. I didn't.
Yeah. I didn't even do that just because I was too lazy to sign up for that. And I was like,
I think our prom was like $40 or something. It was
Yeah.
so expensive.
$40?
Yeah, and it was like they very obviously spent all the money on the location and spent nothing on like
Yeah,
food,
yeah.
drinks, or anything.
Dude,
And
they're
it
for
was
I feel like
pretty
even
bad.
$40, it's a lot. Like at that point, the school's for-profit organization. Like they probably just they probably took the bag and ran.
I
Because
mean, low key, it's kind of what it felt like. Yeah,
It's
because
like-
it was subpar to say
It's-
the least.
I think it's like sub $1,000 to rent a place out, and
no,
that
no,
because I worked
not,
with
not for an event like
Yeah,
that.
that's a pretty big event.
with a group of students in like the business thing I was in. They were trying to do their own prom because for our middle college, and then the place to rent out at UAA was like
Well, yeah, that's at UA.
500. No, it was like a actual venue at UAA. I forgot the name, but, it wasn't that expensive.
They rented out the like the
That
entire
downtown.
top floor of this downtown building,
Oh.
basically.
I feel like it'd still be sub 1,000 or even 2,000. And at that point,
I don't think so. No.
At that point,
it's
when you
more
have-
expensive.
when you have that many people, and it'd be was it $40? $40.
Yeah, that's what you
Dude,
said.
there's got to be something left over, right? Like
I mean,
we're
no,
gonna-
I don't doubt that
like-
there's something left over, but
like the principal point. You know, I
Don't
mean,
think
turn a
it'll go to
blind
principal,
eye.
no.
But
I hope they use it to like get rid of those shitty old ass books we had to use
I
in
doubt
like
it.
every
doubt it.
class.
I don't think-
Yeah,
I think most
so
public
either.
schools are going to hang on to those textbooks as long as possible.
Yeah, until they're literally like dust falling
Yeah.
apart.
yeah,
Like you're gonna be using that fucking 8th edition when you're on the 20th
Yeah,
edition.
yeah. I like.
you know?
I see like memes about kids in the 1990s and like the equipment they use. Like, haha, if you were born in the 1990s, you only remember this. And like,
It's like no.
I use
we
the same
still
thing.
use those.
yeah, it's the same exact thing.
That's like that's part of going to like an underfunded school, but
Yeah.
also just like Alaska type thing.
yeah, yeah. Like, do you guys remember like the yellow clock that they used to teach time?
Yeah. Yeah. Or the stupid ass like projectors where it's like
Yeah.
they put the see-through stuff.
Right.
I think that was
right.
just Northern Lights.
Project.
That was probably
Yeah,
just
that was
Northern
like that was just
at,
us.
at Lake Otis, there was already we already had the screens, like the touch screens.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah. That's
Like-
why I'm saying like we were goofy ass school for
It
sure.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know.
I
It's
don't know
like-
how.
It's supposed to be a prestigious school.
Yeah, we were.
Right?
It was supposed to be a
where you
prestigious
have to
school,
get a
but
lottery
then
to get
somehow it was
in.
underfunded.
Yeah.
it was super underfunded compared to like a normal school because
Bro, and then like we had no sports team. The
Yeah,
only thing we
nothing.
had was cross country, and that was only for middle schoolers.
And
I don't even know how you guys did cross country because
I
it was
never actually did it.
I did it for
it
2
was
years.
it was a little gravel track
No, we didn't. We did not use that track at all. We went out.
to Wendler or something.
No, on the streets.
Oh, okay.
Who
Because
needs a track, man?
Well, what we would do is we would probably go to like a neighboring park, right?
Okay.
And, like with trails. Yeah, and we would also go to like down the street there, and there was like little hills, and just run up and down the hills next to the street where everyone can see us. So, but I liked
pretty
cross country.
good.
I think it was, for what it was a good time to spend outside of school, I guess, because at that point homework wasn't really an issue, and it was not at that point I was not addicted to games, or spending my life in front of a screen, but I really didn't really have anything to do.
I remember the track, it was all gravel, and then
Yeah,
after rainy days there'd be this giant fucking puddle.
you guys remember the
Yeah.
dead goose that was on that field
I don't remember
too?
that. I don't remember that.
I don't remember, but I remember that was like hot spot for geese, and you would
Yeah, you would.
need to watch where you were
The
stepping.
entire field would just be covered in geese shit everywhere.
yeah.
And then they made us play on that.
I think it's
And it
just
was like-
because our middle school was so small, and no elementary school has a proper track and field place.
Yeah, Wendler
Wendler was that
Middle School.
was a middle school though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying because ours is a middle school and elementary. Most middle schools had a track, right?
Yeah.
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 So
It was
Usually,
the
It's like Wendler and what's the other one that like everybody went to?
Hanshu.
Hanshu.
Hanshu, yeah.
People went to Golden View too. Wait, is Golden View elementary?
Golden View is middle school,
Okay, yeah,
Golden View
yeah.
Middle
They have a track too. Dude, their track is nice.
and then what was the
There's
one that?
Polaris though.
Yeah,
Polaris-
Polaris.
what was-
Polaris
They're,
is
they're K through 12.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think they had a track.
Yeah, I feel like that would have been worse.
It,
feel
just seemed like a giant mall converted into a school.
Kind of, yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
I went there for like a long time ago for like a Halloween party type thing.
Interesting.
It was. I've never been there.
I had a friend that went there, but they stopped at eighth grade.
Mhm.
Or, yeah, 8th grade,
Mhm.
I think.
I
Which,
just-
like, I can't blame them. I would not want to go to high
Yeah.
school there.
I feel like if it's not funded well, you should split up the grades, right?
Split the grades.
like
Yeah.
elementary, middle school, high school, because they're just catering to each age group sufficiently costs a lot of money. So I think
It's also kind of weird being like in middle school and then having to be with like
kids,
Yeah.
little
Yeah,
kids.
yeah.
I feel like the way they could have done that better is like having the older kids help the younger kids.
Kill the kids.
Kill the
yes.
kids, you have to kill them. But yeah, like having them help, and then that reduces the need for so many staff. But
They treated the middle
we did it
schoolers
like once or twice,
yeah.
and yeah,
I feel like they still treated the middle schoolers like kids anyway, like little
Well, I mean,
kids.
they were kids, or we were kids.
But I feel like
Something
give me
I
some
found-
respect, homie.
I mean,
I'm
like, if
saying.
you see middle schoolers nowadays, would you give them that power? Dear God, no. Hell no. Like, I wouldn't. No way, man.
I feel like the maturity of kids have just dropped.
It's because
as
of
the years go
people like ice show speed.
Why are we talking about night speed
Is
now?
that racist? Is that racially
Have you
motivated?
seen him on stream?
Yeah,
No,
like
I
the,
have.
like the one where he lit up the fireworks too, right?
Yeah, he lit up fireworks in his room.
It's just kind of that's stupid, but he
And
gets
then
views
it
for it.
exploded.
So
Oh,
Yeah, and then
it's
people
not-
try to imitate that because
Yeah.
it's funny. Like I think it's funny on stream.
being dumb is marketable. I think.
but if you
Yeah.
do that in like in real life in class, then it's like
That's why I think that, like, I mean, obviously when I went through it, like, I hated it. Like, not being able to have a phone, not being, like, I think that's
Yeah.
good, low-key.
yeah.
Like, I feel like there's an age where it's just, like, I don't know, it's probably just not responsible to give your kid free reign of their device like that. Because, yeah, the internet
Especially,
is
like,
a place full of stuff that will...
a lot of stuff.
or
A
you
lot
do
of
like
stuff.
you limit like screen time on certain
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Or you just don't let them.
I used to
have
like
it.
wonder why kindergartners had phones, like the newest iPhone 13 at like kindergarten age. I was like,
Yeah.
why do you need that?
I feel like the era of iPad kids is just, like, that's it for us.
Yeah.
Like, we're just donezo.
I think it's worse for like the kids that, or like the parents that give their kids phones when they're in kindergarten.
I mean, I
and then
get it. Like
they
at
let
that
them use it
point-
the entire time.
At
and it's
that
like,
point, most likely both parents are working. You don't have enough funds to hire like
Just get them an iPad,
So that's like a
It's-
cheaper option to distract.
no, I feel like that's the lazy
like
option.
I feel like it's
The
way
la-
more important to, like...
you spend time with your kid,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You can go out, you can
Sometimes,
play.
like, it's hard to get that time, but I feel like, if you are in that situation where you either don't have both parents in a household, like, you still somehow need to make time, as hard as it is, just because, like, what that does to the kid is kind of fucked.
It's like you give them the phone, and then like you could do fuck all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, it's not saying you can never do that, but it's just saying, like,
If that's all they do.
there's a time and a place,
Yeah.
moderation.
And that's their
thing.
that goes to show, like, that goes into, should people even have kids, right? Because I feel like if you are
Oh.
in that kind of situation where you can't provide for the child,
I feel like just be smart about it. You
Yeah.
know?
I mean, I think they
don't take on most if you can, but we don't need fucking.
I feel like most people
Buddy,
can
kid.
can
You know,
can
it's
provide like for their kid, but they don't choose to like do the good parenting route. Like there's a hard good, and there's the easy by phone or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you can put more time and effort into your kid, or you can just buy them a phone because that's easy. right?
obviously
We're not parents.
Yeah, we're not
None of us
parents, so-
are parents. So.
I mean,
But at least
I've had
even if
little
you're thinking
experience,
about it, I
like-
feel like it's better than
Yeah,
not.
I mean, parenting is hard. Like, even with me helping my parents take care of my younger brother when I was like 11 at the time, and it was hard because they have their own emotions that they want to express, and I feel like at times we, as adults or older people, are harder on kids for doing a mistake than we are on ourselves or other adults, right? Like,
yeah.
I feel like you are more prone to yell at a kid for, let's say, spilling a drink or whatever than you were to have like another human adult or something. So I think there is that aspect of dehumanizing kids just because they are kids, and I don't know. It's hard to treat them like a human being. As bad as that sounds, but
I mean, with my parents, they would like whenever I did something, they would just like talk to me.
I think that's the best course of action because
I mean, even younger,
Yeah.
I mean, there's stuff that happened, but like after a point, after a point,
There's like such a difference in our childhood, guys. Like,
after a point, you become too big. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's like they just talk
they,
to you.
They could sense where I was like, I don't care anymore if you hit me, right?
guys,
That sounds so
I never said that.
I swear I had a good childhood. I did not have a messed up childhood. I have a very good relationship with my
David, what
father and
happened to
mother.
your finger? David, what happened?
Oh, right. I guess I never really talked about that.
No,
But
it's
that
okay.
could be another story for another day. I'm a mystery man. You don't know everything about me.
Mysterious man, yeah.
Yeah.
Except for that you had a fucked up childhood. No, I'm joking, guys. It's a joke.
My mom's watching Ethan. What's she gonna say?
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Please make me Korean food. Thank you.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
when I think about like kindergartners on social media and then like on their
Oh,
phones,
yeah.
and then they they try to act like teenagers, but then
Yeah, they imitate what they see,
and then
right?
you see them, and it's like, bro, where are your parents? You know
And
what I
like the,
mean?
like the amount of people who are ready and willing to take advantage of them, like in that state, like it's
Whoa, in like a creepy way?
in a creepy
or-
way,
oh,
yeah, in a
creepy
creepy
way?
way, yeah, like
Okay. Oh, jeez.
Oh,
Wow,
you know,
guys.
you know those horror stories that happen just because the parents aren't, you know, watching them, the kids don't know any better, and yeah,
Even sometimes the parent, like they bring them to a park or something, and then they stare at their phones, and then the kid like
yeah,
wanders
like,
off or
get
something.
kidnapped very easily. I
And
feel
there's like parents. Some parents are just
not fit for parenting.
There should be a parenting like course.
Of course, yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
I feel like that's actually a thing.
There
already.
probably is,
It
like
probably
parenting
is,
101.
It should be required. It should be required. Bro.
I feel like those are just the kind of people that lack the common sense, though. Because it's like, if you're right in the head and you know this from that, you're not going to sit there and let your kid just wander off and do whatever the hell they want. But it's like, it takes a certain type of person to
Yeah.
like be that absent in the
But
mind.
I'd like to think that.
Yeah, I mean,
most people
I'd
are
like to think
dumb.
that-
I saw a recent I saw a recent statistic that 50% of Americans cannot read at the 8th grade level. 50%.
Yeah.
I feel like most
Yeah.
people, even though I just feel like they're just.
Well, partially, our education system is dog shit. It's,
is,
It's
it is.
doo-doo fart. It's
Yeah.
terrible.
It like prioritizes grades over actually learning anything. So
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
like, you know.
and you see those like interviews on the streets of like New York where they're like, "Do you know about the Holocaust?" Like, is that a rapper?
That's not real, no way.
It is, yeah.
Oh my God.
Or like someone asked like, "Oh, what do you think about Hitler?" And like,
He was a pretty chill
Yeah,
dude,
yeah,
I
yeah.
guess.
or they don't know where America is, or they can't point out
The presidents or
Yeah,
like
yeah.
anything in history, and it's like.
It's I mean, it's New York, so it might be like an
Whoa.
extreme scenario.
I'm trying to say.
What are you trying to say about New York people?
I
you
just
know
feel
what
like
I'm saying?
overall that like you're gonna find that anywhere.
Yeah.
And in way higher volumes than you would think.
Yeah,
Which is
No, but like if you look at kids in Europe, bro, those guys are smart. Those guys are like they can speak like if you go to France, they know how to speak like French, you know? They speak English and then they speak like maybe like Spanish or something and it's like
yeah.
I feel like
they
you're
know
gonna,
all this
EU
stuff.
education.
You're
They
gonna
must,
notice,
bro.
You're gonna. I guess I'm not. I think that the Europe's education system is better than America, but I don't think like everyone is a super genius in.
No, but like if you look at the
Well, yeah,
average,
of course not.
if you compare the averages of one and the other, it's like I don't know.
Very clearly we are doing something wrong.
I feel like we have to see the statistics, but I'm guessing
I feel like every
one's
episode
higher than
turns
the
into
other.
dogging on America in one way or another.
We're just average.
Because it's like it's almost like that's like part of being American. It's
True.
dogging on America.
True, unless
'Cause
you're.
it's like it's not just like dog. It's like constructive in a way, you know.
Yeah.
Because it's like we
Yeah.
see something bad happening and we want it to fix, you know.
Yeah.
To fix it.
I think an issue also has to do with the corporatization of the school system.
Yeah,
You can say
yeah.
that about everything in America, though. To be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah, I feel like it's a little bit too extreme. 'Cause
Especially
we were
with
talking
college.
about books earlier.
Yeah.
Some of the element
$600 for everything for you. Right?
For a parking pass and my books, $630, something like that.
some of the books in high school they're like 150 or something.
Right.
And the only reason they can get away with that is because, like, the school districts, they're obviously allotted a
Yeah.
certain amount of money, and they have to buy those books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
It might be similar because I know that if you're working in the government, every year you're given a set amount of money.
And you have to
Right.
spend it all.
You have to spend it all. Otherwise, the very
Didn't we
next
talk
year.
about this? I feel like
I feel
I've
like we
talked
did.
about this
I feel like we
before.
did, yeah.
I don't
But
remember.
it was with the military specifically.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It
it's
could
like,
be true
that's
for
everything in the
all,
government,
yeah, all branches of the government too. Which is, I don't.
It's
I
just
don't know.
inefficient.
Yeah.
And it's like it's the bucket system, right? So they
Yeah.
give you a certain amount of money for a certain thing, and they have inspectors that sort of gauge, okay, how much money? But realistically, they don't have like an in-base dude that does all that, so he doesn't really, or they don't really understand like
What
all the
is
complexities,
necessary? Yeah,
and,
yeah, yeah.
and they don't leave like room for like
Error.
disasters
Yeah, yeah.
and stuff like that, because it's like, what if you have a really shitty winter here in Alaska, but the year before the budget guy came in and said, okay, you need this amount of money. You're given this amount of money this year, but it's like your costs have gone up because, it's really cold out. You need to leave cars running longer. You need more heating in your building. And it's like now you're completely gone from money and you have all this money sitting in your other buckets that you can't use.
Yeah. Speaking of winter, do you guys
Very
remember
efficient.
in like elementary in Northern Lights when like the teachers would have you standing outside in
Yeah.
like, negative degree weather and like unless it's negative 10 degrees Fahrenheit you cannot come inside. It's like what the heck is that?
We all like walk in and our faces are like red. Our
Yeah,
ears
yeah,
are like
yeah.
falling off.
I
and
remember-
purple and oh my god.
I
yeah.
remember this one time I threw up outside.
Did you actually? I don't remember this at all.
Like in line, I threw up outside.
Did someone
Did they let us inside? Yeah.
No. I didn't tell anyone because I wanted to go to school, right?
Oh my
And then-
gosh.
It was nasty as fuck.
did you guys ever try to fake being sick to get
No.
out?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
No, I
all the
didn't.
time.
I didn't.
All the time, man.
I always
If
want.
I ever woke up with like a bad stunt, I'd go to my mom like, "Oh, mom, threw up, can't go to school." Oh no.
She would let you stay?
No, very rarely. Unless like she had physical evidence that I
Right,
was
right.
sick, like she would check the temperature. She would, if I threw up, it's like I had to take pictures of it basically.
Yeah.
'Cause she
And
just
even
wouldn't believe it.
when like if you're actually sick, it sucks staying home because you have nothing to do. Because for me, at least, if you stay in front of a screen, it makes you more nauseous, right?
Yeah.
So
That's
it
not me,
sucks.
bro. I'll play my Roblox. Man. That's what I'm saying. Like, but I've never tried to skip school because I'm sick. Because I don't know. I just enjoyed learning.
It's Chinese.
Yeah, and my parents would be like, "What the fuck?" You know what I'm saying? Like, go to school, dumbass. It's like.
Yeah.
Also, I wouldn't have anyone at home to, because both
care
of
of you.
both of my parents were working,
Yeah.
and my grandma, she was here like for the first year or two, but then she dipped. So
Back to China?
no, she went to Michigan,
Michigan.
and so it was like I didn't really have it, like I couldn't stay home basically,
Right.
and then it's even sometimes when I was feeling kind of sick, I still went to school, because I didn't want to like miss out on a day of learning or something.
I did not.
I feel
care
like
at
I
that
would do
point.
that in high school and then obviously now college. But
Yeah.
before that, no. Like if I was feeling even a little
Fuck
bit
it,
ill,
bro.
I was like, "Mom, can I stay home?" Or I would do this thing where I would go to the nurse, and my brother who had went to the same like school before us, he had like sort of a history with like migraines. And so, I was his little brother. I could kind of pull the same shit. I would just sort of like mimic how he acted when he got a migraine.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, "Can I just like lie down? I just need to lie down." And so I'd like just basically take naps in the nurse's room. And like, they would give me Advil, and then I'd be like, "No, I need to go home." And then I would call Mom, I'd be like, "Mom, please, you need to come get me." And then finally they'd be like, "Fine, just go home, man." And I'd be like, "Fuck yeah."
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. At that point, I feel like it was okay that we were kind of pushed hard in elementary and middle school because by the time we reached high school, we kind of had our things together, right?
Yeah.
Because, my goodness, I mentioned like the reading level of 50% of Americans before, and you could tell
Yeah.
that a lot of these kids did not know how to read.
It was like basically for anyone that doesn't know, like advanced programs, like honors levels, AP or
Right,
IB.
yeah.
Basically, if you're in any of those and then you switch to a normal class, the difference is very apparent.
It's
Even some of the kids in like the advanced placement program, you go,
why are you here?
it's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
I feel like most of them were just there for GPA boosts.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a lot of them, they still didn't give a shit.
I didn't know that it was an option that you didn't have to take the AP test. So I heard people talking about, oh, you could just take the AP class for the extra GPA and not have to take the AP test if you didn't have
didn't.
to.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
I feel like it looks good, obviously GPA wise.
Yeah.
But if you never took the test, like it doesn't look great for colleges.
Yeah, sure.
Which
Also-
is why I'm still glad I took them, but
I
they
don't
were
like-
pretty miserable.
I don't like how the AP test, like you had to pay for it. I don't remember how much, but you would spend.
College Board is a for-profit
Yeah,
organization.
you would spend like
$200.
a couple hundred.
Yeah.
I think
like
mine
just
were
to
like 100 something each. Yeah.
And
yeah, it was outrageous, bro.
the
Even,
more-
especially the outline, the online one. The online test was
Oh my God,
absolutely
the
terrible.
online one
when we
for,
first went into like pandemic age.
for my
Ugh.
They just threw some
April
garbage at us,
for
bro.
my AP CSP.
Oh.
AP CSP, Computer Science Principles. Yeah.
Yeah.
We literally spent like our own time creating our code. Like it wasn't monitored. You had like a week or 2 weeks to create a program, and then you would just submit a file. You had to pay $100.
Bro.
Yeah, that was
For
with
them to receive a file and then
Review it.
grade it.
Yeah.
I made a program that was like a GPA calculator, right? Except for it had like a complete user interface. It like, I totally went overboard on this thing, right? And like it was like a solid program. I got a 5, right? And they also gave a 5 to somebody who no user interface, no nothing. It was like vocabulary. You would type a word into a console, like the default console that you get in like a programming environment. And then it would give you the definition of the word. 5. The exact same grade that I got. And I was just like, I paid for this too. I paid for this.
One thing to speak of the American education system, when I took AP World, my teacher said to me, what's more important is not the material that we're discussing, but how to get the best grade score on your AP test.
It's just
and at
like
that time, I was like, okay, yeah, thank you. But now that I'm thinking about it, that's messed up.
Fucked up.
Why am I prioritizing this grade over the material itself? Like at that point, you're telling us that.
Why fucking bother learning?
Yeah.
Learn how to cheat really well. Fuck it.
There was times during in AP World where we would just like basically do a practice test, and we did that like every other week or something.
We did them.
It was
recently too,
and it was like just bullshit. Like what?
I will say my AP World class, like the teacher, she was actually like pretty focused on at least teaching us the material.
Oh, mine wasn't.
She did make it like a pretty big deal. Like, okay, make sure you get the best grade you can, but also actually try to learn the material.
And I had like a discussion with my dad about math in particular and how useless it can be. Like, if you're not going into like engineering or a mathematician or whatever,
even going into them, you don't use it that much. It's more about the principles.
Yeah, I asked my friend who's an engineer, like, do you ever use calc or like physics at all? I was like, nope, never used it once. And
it's more about knowing the background information.
And even in these classes, they're like, you should never use a calculator. Real world never uses a calculator. When are you going to use a calculator? You never use a calculator. And
the
like
only time you're not going to use a calculator is when they say on the test, no calculator.
But in real life,
every other time you're going to have the calculator.
And I can understand that when you're learning the subject, it can interfere with learning about the subject.
I feel like it's really only applicable for like your like multiplication and division and like the really easy stuff. It's like you kind of want the mental math a little bit. Like, but if you can't do 5 times 5 in your head, you're gonna have a problem.
I mean,
at a higher level,
you do need that logic kind of thing that doesn't come with using a calculator, like with Calc 2.
At a higher level, it gets to a point where calculators can't do the job, though.
Yeah, that is true.
Well, but you could still use it to help.
Yeah, it's
like if you're sitting there looking at 27 times 64, you're like
sometimes the computer might even get it wrong, and it's like you have to figure out where it went wrong.
Yeah, I looked
just coding.
Guys. I saw a bar about like the level of math you're using at each stage of life, right?
Yeah.
And it's like arithmetic, multiplication, basic stuff. Like when you're elementary school, middle school, and then you're into geometry and then trig or whatnot. And then as soon as you're out of college, it just drops straight back to arithmetic. That's the only thing you use for the rest of your life, right?
It's like learning cursive. Like why?
Actually,
and they made such a big deal about cursive. They're like, you need to know this shit. They would fucking send you home with those giant things. You had to fill them out. S over and over and over. Your wrist would just be fucking hurting so badly. And then the very next year, we stopped using it.
Exactly.
Third grade, they're like cursive. Fourth grade, the fourth grade teacher was like...
Same with phonograms, too.
Phonograms?
Yeah, dude, I hated phonograms. Thank God I only had to do it for 1 year.
I was bad at that.
Because like it was like you have to practice on your own time. And then the principal would
for some reason. I don't know why. The
principal would come and knock on the classroom door and slowly take you out one by one. And you're sitting there with this lady across like a tiny elementary schooler's desk. And she's staring at you. And she flips out a card. And you go...
I remember doing so bad at those. And then I feel like at some point they just gave up on me, and then I didn't have to do it again.
Within the phonograms, there's contradictions to their own rules. Like with the phonograms, it's like they give you an example of one thing and the exact same thing in another thing. Like, what's the point of learning all of this?
Did you have to practice those at home or something?
I feel like we did.
There was people.
Because I didn't at all.
Yeah, I mean, to no one's detriment, really. Yeah. And I just.
I remember
there's so many useless things that they're prioritizing. Like, I know it's a meme where there's like, you should have taught us taxes right in high school, but honestly, like,
yeah, there was no taxes class. I had to learn from my dad how to use fucking.
And why do we even have to do taxes? The IRS already knows how much we owe anyway. So
it's like they're like, okay, go ahead and calculate all your shit for us, and we're gonna have this secret number, and if you don't get it right, we're coming for you.
And I also saw an article where the IRS makes it intentionally clumsy and really hard to do your taxes, just so that services like TurboTax and other things can make money by having it
corporate
America.
I also heard
corporatization of everything. And
I heard that they made it like really long or something, so there's like you can find like tax credits or something. But
I mean,
it was pretty simple for me to fill out my taxes, even through the IRS website. Like, they give you a lot of resources on there. But I feel like if you just
I'm complaining about TurboTax, but I did use it to file my taxes. So.
I looked at TurboTax and it said, "Oh, you have to pay me money." I'm like, "Fuck that."
No,
bro.
I didn't have to pay money.
Okay, I didn't figure that out because I'm kind of dumb.
There was a free service.
It's a free service at the IRS website. It's they give you a bunch of things that are free if you're under a certain
age.
No, not a certain age. It's under a certain income.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I think that's the reason why I got so much money on my tax return. Should I talk about that? Never mind.
Guys, like, I got fucked. Both of my parents make a lot of money, and I'm white. I got so fucked.
Don't worry, that's me too. I got my $5. I got my $5 as a tax return.
I paid money. I paid like $500 something.
Oh, really? How much?
I got fucked.
Did you make above or less than 12,000?
Less.
Really? And you still had to pay?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Because my dad makes somewhere in the like 100,000 plus range.
Did they file you as a dependent? That could be the reason why.
Because if they file you as a dependent, they get tax benefits.
Yeah,
that's why.
Yeah. So my dad asked me if he could file me as a dependent. Can I have some more money from you? I was like, sure, Dad.
No problem. But tomorrow, when I ask you, can we go eat out? You better fucking remember this.
Yeah. I'm hungry now.
Oh,
anyway,
my bad.
Yeah. Speaking of food, have you? I know that you don't use TikTok anymore, right?
Yeah.
Do you use TikTok?
No.
Okay.
I use Instagram Reels.
But when you scroll through, do you see those like food recipes or whatnot?
No.
Oh, you don't?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Whenever I go out and buy ingredients, I look up recipe for this, and then I look up
like a cookbook.
No, I just look at YouTube on Google. That's what my dad told me to do.
Really, I'm very glad for YouTube and Google, because not just with cooking, but everything else, really. Because if I have trouble with an exercise or whatnot, I can just search it up and learn the proper form and technique.
Google it.
JPEG, shout out to JPEG.
The phrase, just Google it.
Yeah.
It works though. It does. That's how I learned how to do most of my cooking, even though after a while you start getting used to like the techniques. But it's like at the beginning, how do I sharpen the knife correctly? How do I cook this piece of meat? How do I, do anything? And it's like, it's there. And then there's people to help you. And then you slowly learn how to do it.
At the cost of, your personal information. But,
Google, you can
ad service. Gonna know what kind of porn you watch. That's cool.
Hey, good thing I don't use TikTok.
Yeah, I mean.
Bro, it's disturbing how quickly my For You page literally just became Asian girls. It is like very disturbing. And it was bad.
I think there's recent things that showed that China actually like took all your information through TikTok. Like they actually stored everything.
Honestly, I'm not surprised at all. People complain about the COVID vaccine is gonna give you a chip. They're gonna track you.
And then they have their
voluntarily
install TikTok and
Yeah.
Yeah,
But then
I don't know.
I feel like
We're
most
just kinda
teenagers,
idiots.
most teenagers don't give a fuck because they're just like they take my information, bro. Like China.
Honestly,
It's
we
not
live
like-
in a very boring dystopia. You know, I mean,
Yeah, nobody's writing a book about it.
Yeah,
but we're pretty
yeah.
fucked. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I honestly wish it was more extreme so we could, you know,
Yeah,
have
let's,
something to
let,
react
us get to like the cyberpunk level so we can actually start like rioting and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Fuck it.
But like we're just sitting while the half of the world is burning and the other half is drowning, and like okay,
We all live very mundane lives.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, we're
Yeah.
talking about like, oh, yep, just got a new job.
we're recording a podcast.
1650 instead of 15, guys. Oh, moving up in the world.
We're all gonna die. Yeah, but honestly, I think why couldn't we have a cyberpunk? That'd be pretty cool.
Dude, honestly, like, I think as bad as that game was, I think like the world and like some of the characters were
pretty
honestly pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why, but I can't. It felt clunky a bit, like the combat.
I've never played the game.
Did it
Yeah,
feel?
it's
Yeah, I've never
supposed
played it.
it was supposed to have emphasis on like shooting and movement and all that, but a
It
lot
was-
of it just felt.
It felt pretty
not
clunky for
great,
me.
yeah.
Even with my
Did they
computer system,
didn't they unbug the game or is it still
it's
fucked?
it's
Yeah,
pretty
they
good. It's
released like
alright.
some pretty big patches, and a
Yeah.
lot of it was fixed. But it's just like the game still has a lot of
I
problems.
mean, why play Cyberpunk when you can play Elden Ring? Ethan.
I don't.
We're bringing this onto the podcast, really?
I don't think we'll ever get to that like cyberpunk type thing.
I think there's a lot. I mean,
Until-
even if it's sci-fi, I think there's a lot of
You have to-
fantastical elements. To
You would
it
have to
as
wait
well.
like
Yeah, I
200,
don't-
300 years or something.
I feel like what's gonna happen faster is the idea of like capitalism destroying us, because like that was a main theme in Cyberpunk, was that like the corporations control literally everything. Like you get implants in your bodies from these corporations, and now like they are a part of you.
Yeah.
So like very
Elon Musk.
literally.
Elon Musk. That's literally Elon Musk and Neuralink, bro.
Okay, Tesla holder. Okay. Still going down, by the way. Fuck you.
Hey, no, it's
Tesla.
actually back up. It's actually back up.
Okay.
Forget you invest in stuff, but yeah,
But in places like Saudi Arabia, have you guys heard about the line?
yeah, I heard that. Yeah,
They're making a giant city that can hold I think 5 million people. If it is just a line in the fucking desert.
yeah.
Wow.
And it's like they would have all this futuristic
It
technology.
feels so claustrophobic though. It's
No, it's supposed to be ginormous, and it's supposed to be just a fucking big ass fucking line.
yeah, but it's obviously a lot thinner than a normal city.
Yeah,
Right,
it
because
is
of-
definitely, but it's supposed to be like everything's supposed to be efficient because it's closer together,
I think,
and then it's supposed to be like futuristic
I
technology
feel like
and shit.
so much like modern futurism stuff. It's just so boring.
It's
I mean,
yeah.
or-
Like, have you seen what happened to like all the Taco Bells, Walmarts?
Yeah, they made it look
McDonald's?
modern, but it just.
Modern, which just uses bland, boring colors
Boring.
and
Yeah.
the modern.
But that's what people like, though. That's the thing.
Boring, and it's like no, not really.
That's what a lot of
You see a
people
lot of people complain.
like. If
about
you
it,
look at the
actually.
modern houses, that's what they look like.
I feel like a lot of
blocky
modern
shit.
houses
they
are
look
just kind of
ugly.
lame.
They look
Yeah.
pretty ugly.
I kind of prefer like old
I feel like there's an
ancient
architecture,
fucking
for sure.
ancient Greek fucking shit right there. That looks dope. You
Speaking
feel
of
like a king,
the
man.
ancient Greeks.
Great segue. Did you want to continue that thought?
Speaking of ancient Greeks, did you know they were like very homosexual? Did you guys know that?
Where'd you read this stuff, bro?
It's just a fact. It's literally just a fact. Like I don't know. It was like from one of those like Giga Chad posts where it's like embrace ancient Greek, you know, because like they were like, you know, they had good bodies, they were physically fit. The idea of
Yeah.
like the Spartans or whatever,
Like
but then
the-
it's like they were very homosexual and very open about it.
Yeah, I feel like most parts of the world were open to that concept. It's
No.
Until I feel
'Cause,
like,
when
Europe
the
wasn't.
church was there.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you
but,
are strapped to the cross,
church,
bro.
Before
Yeah.
the church.
Dead.
I feel like because of as a consequence of Christianity,
Is it
Why-
in?
Okay, I'm so confused right there. I'm not Christian, not religious at all.
Yeah.
I don't understand this. Why did it become bad?
Christianity.
No, like homosexualness,
Oh,
homosexuality.
I think it was. Yeah, if you read the Old Testament, source. I'm a Christian. I know. Please don't hate me.
Source. I'm still reminds me of the video where the guy's like, my sources, I made it the fuck up.
From Metal Gear, right?
Yeah.
So what was his name? Senator. What was his name? Anyway, but to answer your question, I think it was something along the lines of it's not natural.
Oh, right, because
Yeah.
like the look at Adam and Eve type thing.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
and also Jesus didn't say it specifically. He didn't mention anything on that topic.
Yeah, because he was more like love
everyone.
everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But his disciples that followed him, especially I think Paul. I don't know if you've ever heard of that guy.
No.
Yeah, he was a big guy. He wrote most of the New Testament.
Uh-huh.
So he was big on like it's not natural. It's a sin. So
Wait,
that's
so
where-
if you hate homosexuals, technically you're not going with the words of Jesus?
yeah. So I think it's gone to a point where people,
Or is that sort of like where there's a divide in Christianity?
there is that too, because there are gay churches, right? They are.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
actually.
there are churches that specifically cater towards the LGBTQ community. So there's always division on, obviously Christians hyper focus on that kind of stuff. Right?
Yeah.
Above a lot of things, right?
I think it's kind of like corny when you defend your worldviews like through a religion.
I mean,
Like in my opinion, it just
Yeah.
seems kind of corny.
I've had discussions with my dad about this, right?
Yeah.
And I've asked him, if you couldn't use the Bible, how would you defend your religion, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm going to use the Bible. I was like, okay. So, I mean...
Well, he is a preacher?
No. He was a missionary. He was a
Missionary. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
So, obviously, there's this thing about, faith and everything and believing in the Bible with faith and not through evidence. And there's that whole thing. So, I mean, it's different for everyone. And I can't speak for all Christians like I did about all Koreans before. So, I don't want to... I don't want people to have... because, with any group, I think it's bad to have this one image based on one person.
Well, yeah, right. That's the
Yeah.
problem with prejudices.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know a lot of Christians that aren't, with pitchforks whenever they see a gay person and like audibly gasp when someone with purple hair walks by or anything like that. So,
It just reminds me of that the video where it's like the old Asian couple getting scared of the black guy. Just not good, guys. Just not good.
yeah, I mean, even now, Asia is pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? It's pretty Asian. Shocker.
Guys, Asia
Is Asian.
is Asian.
But like, there's not a lot of people that are
From other places.
yeah, especially
Yeah.
with Japan and Korea.
I think, Japan's like
Japan especially,
98% ethnically
Like-
Japanese.
Yeah.
Because there's also the culture of don't stick out like a nail or you'll be hammered, right?
Yeah, right.
So,
Because it's like, that's why I think that like America had the potential so much to be like the great place it was supposed to be. Because
but then
we-
it went too far, I think.
yeah,
it went too
right,
far the
right,
other
right.
side.
It's like we focus way too much on individuality.
And then we don't care about
Yeah.
anyone else anymore.
Yeah, and it's
so-
like, so paying taxes is all of a sudden this awful thing that everyone hates, even though it could help a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or, you don't really come together as much as you do in other places to like
the
work
entitlement
together.
people get just because they pay taxes for like government workers or whatever. I pay with my taxes.
It's
and
like-
you should listen to every word.
It's
that
like when
I
they
say.
disrespect police officers, like when they pull them over. I pay for you. Like I
Yeah.
make your
Yeah,
wage.
it's like-
I paid that.
No, you don't. You're like one in 300, 400 million people that
Yeah.
pay taxes. Shut up. So I don't know. I feel we diss on America a lot, but every country has its own
I don't
problems.
think there's another place that I would rather live. Or there's like very few other places I would rather
I mean,
live.
I would. There's a lot for me.
Yeah,
I don't
I mean,
know about
there's
you.
some places,
There's a
I
lot of
mean-
places.
Okay,
I'd
where would you rather live?
Finland.
Pretty much any of those like utopia like EU places.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, they're
They're
not.
all getting our main import, stupidity. Like so many EU places are now having rises of like neo-Nazis,
Yeah.
racist,
Isn't
sexism,
like,
all those things. They're all coming from us. 'cause
Yeah. Well,
that's our best import.
I feel like it was also present there underlying. for a
Yeah,
long time,
yeah.
too.
No, this is
because even with Ukraine, even what they're going through, they still have the audacity to be racist, because they're only allowing people who are physically white to like board trains to exit the country and won't let. So I mean, Ukraine is I think Orthodox Christian nation. Like his main religion is Christian, and
I don't know.
But yeah, I can understand what you mean. Even with Canada, like we mentioned before.
I mean,
there's the truckers.
What's
and so many people are becoming like Donald Trump stands, even in different nations.
Yeah.
And it's like,
why?
I don't know.
It's like apparently he's the one that stands up to corporate, and
he
like
sucked them off. Man. He was down on his knees, blowing every company left and right. What are you talking about? Yeah. And also, he was the company himself.
Yeah,
he's a billionaire. Right? Yeah,
he's
a billionaire.
Billionaire. Yep.
And I think people like him because he like lowered taxes, but
the reality is that he only lowered taxes for the richer. Which, like, in some people's mind is like, okay, you give less taxes to rich people, they're gonna have more money to like increase their workers, or whatever. And it's like,
and then they
those
don't.
are so marginal, and Elon Musk still pays 0.01% of his wealth in taxes or his income or whatever, and it's like, he made in the hundreds of millions and paid like not even close to that.
Actually, he paid in the billions in taxes.
He
I
did.
think. Yeah, he did.
But that's still like
it's not as much as he should be paying.
Yeah.
Same with Bezos. Same with
at that
Gates,
point, I don't think
everybody.
it should be a matter of what percentage of your wealth you're paying, right? Because even $1 billion,
I feel like it should be more optimized, like what they do with that money.
Yeah, or
both.
It should be like a cap, right? Like after a certain point, why do you need this much money, right? But at the same time, I get that,
I don't think that's ever gonna work.
Yeah, but I get that most of their wealth is
yeah.
not liquid, so that kind of thing where they just give out their money is not. Well,
but it's like the reason they do that is to evade taxes.
That's true.
Yeah.
Which is like, because think about it this way: it's like if the top 1% that is like, they are the ones with all of the money who make the most money pay like the lowest percentage, then it falls on all of us to pay even more.
Yeah.
And that's why you see like little business owners getting fucked over because they don't have that kind of money, but they're still business owners, hence more tax, and everyday folk who can barely afford to pay taxes.
I mean, in like bigger companies like Amazon, they try to spend a lot of their money on like reinvestments. And that's how they avoid taxes, like, because that's how they make the tax write-offs. Like investing in electric transportation, they partnered with Rivian to make vans.
A lot of that is like
and that's how they
cap, but also like
PR,
and like it's like for profit for themselves in the end.
Yeah, that is, but that's just I don't know. It's part of the tax code. And I feel like they should pay some, or like. I mean, they probably do pay some, but
yeah, honestly, I don't know.
They shouldn't be to the extent.
Should.
They shouldn't. The tax credit shouldn't be to the extent that they are now.
I think
maybe. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not a fucking billionaire fucking genius or something.
We can talk about how evil.
But from our perspective,
yeah, you can talk about how evil these corporations are, but I think we also are at fault because I mean
we're the ones who keep putting money in our pockets.
I built a $3,000 computer with Amazon, so I mean we're basically throwing money at them. So
I mean they do provide a service, but
very convenient service, and I think that's.
I feel like their duty to give back, because if we weren't buying stuff from them, they have no money. Their whole operation shuts down basically.
Yeah, but at the same time, we're not people to them. We're just numbers on a board. So
we're also
customers. Every PR move is just to make more money.
Yeah.
They do not give a shit.
Yeah. God, the world we live in.
That's why I think that like we're not even a truly capitalist society, nor are we a true democracy.
We're like what? We're almost like a theocracy, right? That's what it's called when like
the top democratic. We're democratic socialist.
Not socially.
Yeah.
Oligarchy is what I was looking for. Oligarchy.
Say socialism, guys. You're gonna
We're
get
democratic socialist country. I think.
Well, like the
Google
point
it.
is,
Google it.
I'm pretty sure
I've Googled it before. I'm I trust my sources.
Google.
It's like the point is though that like we already aren't what people think we are. And it's
Yeah.
like, I feel like we would stem to benefit, like the average person. And even like people like, I don't think we're average. Like I think that all three of us sort of enjoy like a above average life in a certain way.
Yeah.
You built a $3,000 computer.
That's easy.
But like I'm saying that like I think all of us, not even just the three of us, but just everyone in general, except for the very wealthy 0.1%, would benefit from like a slightly more restrictive capitalist society where like the government is no longer controlled by the money, but rather the government controls the money a little bit more.
I mean, that's not what capitalism is supposed to be like. The government has
no say.
Yeah, little to less say. That's what people for capitalism want. Like the government has less say to it.
Or like not even just the money, but like control over like, because you know everything in the government is basically bought. Like, you can pay pay off your politicians. You have to pay for your campaigns. You pay for lobbying, and like take away all of that. Because like the government and the money should be separate in that way.
It's because the Supreme Court, there was a trial that found it was unconstitutional to limit their spending.
I heard about that too. Yeah.
So that's why corporations can basically be PR people for.
I mean the Supreme Court hasn't necessarily proven to be the most.
Yeah, they're not the best. But you know what they say is like the law.
What happened a few months ago?
It's basically it is what it is.
What happened a couple months ago, David? Or which specific thing are you referring to?
Oh, there's been multiple things that haven't happened. I was talking about Roe v. Wade, but I think we already went over Roe v. Wade. Right?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
I think it is what it is.
I feel like every time I get on this podcast, I get a bit more depressed about the future of our country.
Yeah, it's like for a while I was like really in touch with this stuff. Like I was reading the news every day. I was watching commentary people that talk about this stuff like all day, and I was like at the lowest.
I was so depressed.
I felt so shit just because like nothing in the world looked right. Like there was wars, there are people dying everywhere. There are places even in America that are worse than third world countries. We have some of the worst work behaviors. Our workers are treated the worst in the entire world. We have the worst infrastructure in any first world country in the entire world. Our infrastructure is worse than some third world countries.
No healthcare.
Yeah. I think some dude got bit by a rattlesnake. He owes $180,000 now. Didn't have life insurance. He's fucked for the rest of his life. He might as well have died to that rattlesnake. And
would have been cleaner.
America, guys, America, really cool place, really awesome place. It was not good, guys. It was not good.
I feel like if you like step outside though, it's not as bad as it seems.
Yeah, well, obviously you're reading about very specific things, but if you think that nothing is wrong, you're living very privileged.
Yeah.
So it's like it's our duty to pay attention to it and do what we can about it.
But if you get consumed,
shouldn't be complete doomer about everything.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Like if you get consumed by it, then you're gonna think everything's bad all the time.
Right. Yeah, and then you're
gonna be fucked. You're gonna be mentally fucked as well. So it's like it's not as good.
Well, on that depressing note.
Okay, guys. So now that America's dying and you don't view anything the same anymore and you have no hope in life, let's go ahead and cut the episode here, guys.
Yeah.
Great episode.
I think I enjoyed our talk today. I'll go home.
A bit of a depressing one. But keep your chin up, champs. You got this. It's all in the bag.
Don't forget to like,
comment, subscribe.
Comment, subscribe. I want to see 50 likes.
50 likes. That's a big.
I think
10.
10. I think 10 would be like stretching our luck a little bit.
Yeah.
10, can we do 10 likes?
10 likes, guys. 10 likes, and I will high five the camera in the next video.
Yeah.
10 likes, and we're going to upload the next video, except for we were going to do it anyway. So.
Yeah.
Does our like goal actually matter? No, it doesn't.